Now we are going to discuss how to configure the positions here. Whenever we are working with the positions, we have the option called position lookups. There are three different types of lookups we have discussed, right? One is standard lookup, another one is extensible, another one is user defined. So when we are working with any lookup customization, first we have to verify that lookup type. What type of lookup this is? It's a user-defined lookup. User-defined lookup means it will allow us to create new values and allow us to delete existing values. Yeah, I'm creating the new value here, PWC unit, PWC bargaining unit here. The client has to tell us what values they would like to have as an a list and what values they don't want. That we will go for hide here. Provision period. For example, provision period, what type of lookup this is? Extensible lookup. Extensible lookup means we can add new values. If you see that the existing value which is provided by Oracle cannot be deleted. Let's say we have quarter. So now this is value we have added. Of course, whatever the value we have added, of course, it will allow us to go for delete, or we can set the enable value and disable. Let me disable this. Small letter is there. Let me keep it as capital letter. For save and close. So these are position lookups. Same way we have job lookups, position lookups, and we have other options like evaluation system measurement. There are different options we have here, right? So it depends on the requirement. We can go for customize the lookup, whatever is required. And where do we find these lookups? While creating the position, we'll find some fields having the list of values as a lookups here. There we are going to specify. Okay, let's go for create a position. So the positions are used mainly in the area where the client wanted to have the approval process, detailed approval process, and also when the organizations wants to have the position hierarchies, position trees, if they would like to conduct the budget based on the position regarding the expenses and all, the positions will be created. One of the interview question in the interview is, let's say you are implementing human capital management to the client. Client does not have an idea whether it is jobs or positions. How will you suggest whether jobs are sufficient for the client or not? Or the client is required the positions also? Where do you configure this implementation required the positions also? These questions they'll expect in the interview point of view. So we have to say that if client is looking for detailed approval and also controlling on the headcount and also controlling on the budget expenditure, then it's mandatory that client should go for the positions. If client says that I don't want to have any control on the headcount, it means there is no restriction for hiring employees, then job is fine. In the jobs, we cannot control it. While creating the job, we don't have the option like maximum number of employees you can hire for this particular job. That controlling is not there. If controlling is required, we need positions. And we have the job approval also, job level also we can set up the approvals, but not that much of detailed approval like position level. We have position hierarchies, we have position trees, we have position levels. Different levels detailed, we can go ahead with the positions, but that we do not have at job level. Budgeting configuration, like in financials, the organizations wants to calculate how much expenditure we are getting for every position wise, department wise, branch wise, or legal entity wise, they wanted to calculate. Then budget enabling option, we do not have at the job level, only at position level. So these 3 points are very important. We are supposed to point out in the interview point when they ask us, how will you suggest the positions? When we have to suggest is if the client is looking for detailed approval options, and also if they would like to have the controlling on the headcount, if they would like to configure the budgeting at positions level, then we will go for the positions. And where do we set up this? There is a task called manage enterprise HCM information. Sorry, establish enterprise structures. This is the task name where we are supposed to set up here. There is a button here, configure jobs and position structures. So I want to explore other options here. Here, summary advice. Yes, I want to use jobs and personal supervisors for reporting purpose. No, I want to use positions and hierarchies for report. Obviously, jobs are mandatory. We must implement the jobs for every HCM implementation. But if we want to go for implement positions also, we have to choose the second option. I want use positions and hierarchies for reporting or for approval purpose. Then we have to check this checkbox, it will work. Okay. So this is about the task in the interviews. They'll ask, where do you configure? Very important. Okay. Thank you. Now we are going for the option here, position task here. Let's go to the task here, positions. I'm going to create the position. Before we go for create a position, let's go to the manage positions here. Already we configured the lookups here. Manage positions, create, and choose our business unit. What is our business unit? PwC. PwC business unit. Right. Let's say PwC sales manager. Click next button. And department. PwC department. So we created in previous session, right? Finance and sales. Same thing. PwC manager and developer. So select manager. And we also created location, right? PwC New York location. Yes. If you want to set some default manager for this position, what happened when you hire an employee for this position called a sales manager? Okay, system will automatically go for set this manager is the default manager for those employees who are hiring for this particular position name here. Okay, so right now I don't want to set up any manager. It's not mandatory. So we have configured department, job, and location here. Assignment category is like you would like to set up any full-time regular for this assignment. Any attachments are required that we can specify. So in position description, we don't find much important fields over here, just general status, department, job, and location that we'll choose. When it comes for hiring information, hiring status, is it approved? Approved means we can go for hire an employee immediately. We can start hiring for this particular position that immediately. And frozen is nothing but it's not, it's kept it on hold. We cannot go for hire an employee for this particular position here. And then when we are talking about proposed means it's going to be a future. In future, we are going to hire an employee here. That's going to be a proposed over here. It is. 3 options are there. I'm going to select approved because we want to hire an employee for this position now. Okay. Now, type is very important. This is one of the important question in the interviews. What are different types of positions we have? Position types. 4 types we have. None, pooled, shared, single incumbent. Single incumbent means we can hire only one employee for this particular position. Pooled means we can hire multiple employees, and we can restrict 20 members, 10 members. It means we are going to put the controlling on the number of employees. We'll specify controlling on the number of employees over here. It is. And then none means there is no control. You can go for hire an employee. There is no need to specify any controlling. You can hire multiple employees. The difference between pooled and none is pooled, there will be a control, 10 members, 20, 50 members, like that head count, you can control it, but you cannot go for beyond that. None means there is no control. So you can have it a number of multiple employees. Shared means same position is going to be shared by multiple people. Multiple people are going to share. Let's say there is a position called cashier, and 4 hours one employee is going to work, 4 hours another employee is going to work. It means that position is shared by 2 people, then each person is equal to 0.5 times, not one time. Okay, one time means it's a full position, right? For example, if shared is 4, then each person is equal to 0.25. It's nothing but FTE. FTE will be 0.25, nothing but full-time equivalent. Full-time equivalent, we are going to have it. FTE will be full-time equivalent. So right now, for this position, I would like to go for 20 members. That time we'll choose this pooled option and we'll set the head count as 20. FTE will be 20 and head count is 1. Head count is 20. Sorry, 20 members we are going to hire for this particular position. Maximum we can hire. Okay, so these are the 4 options, very, very important. What are the different types of positions we have? None, pooled, shared, and single income. Okay. Then security clearance, these all are lookups. Just now we have seen, is there any security clearance is required for this position? If we want to hire, we can specify. How about this provision period? I'm going to say 2 months. Bargaining unit, just now we defined one lookup, right? What all we wanted to set that lookup, we can set here. Yes, okay. Then, so overlap is allowed. In case if we are going for hiring employees for this particular position, let's say we mentioned 20 members. Out of 20 members, one employee has resigned. Meanwhile, another employee is going to join. So if we say overlap is allowed, yes, then it's fine. We can go for hire an employee within the end date of this particular employee. But if we say overlap is no, once the current employee leave this organization, then only we will be able to find it. Then only we will be able to find it. So most of the cases will have overlap is allowed. So if any of the position it is not allowed, then we will say no. Okay, now we are going to say that it is allowed. Is this position is seasonal position? Seasonal position means you can hire an employee only in that dates for this particular position. You might have seen some companies when their business is more in the summer and all. So obviously they will have more number of headcount in that season. They'll create a new position in that season. As soon as that season is completed, they'll go for stop the hiring process. Now system is asking us, is this the position is seasonable position or not? Seasonal start date or end date. I don't want to say that this is a seasonal position. You can hire anytime. You can go for hire this for any time. That's what I'm going to specify. Okay. So let's go for the next option here. Budget. This budget amount currency cost center, under which cost center it's going to be specified. This all comes under financials here. We don't need that at this point of time. In fact, we don't involve also. Finance functional consultant will be configuring this. And how about work terms? Nothing but standard working hours. This we can specify. Standard working hours, we can mention daily 8 hours and starting time and ending time. Grades we'll talk about in our next session. We'll be talking about the grades. Now it's not required for us. Okay. So this is about the position details. Very important options like hiring status and other options are very important. Overlap allowed or not. And how about mandatory things when you want to create a position like business unit is mandatory, department is mandatory, job is mandatory. Location is not mandatory. Location is not mandatory. Okay, only department and job. Click next button here. And then the working hours are too high for the selected frequency for the position with the code. Okay. So working hours 88 I have specified. That's the wrong. In case if we want to set up any evaluation criteria for this position, we can choose evaluation system. Generally, it is HR related. People will take care. We don't need to worry about this evaluation criteria. So I'm just going to keep this as null value and go ahead with this. And let's go for complete the process. This is how we can go for profiles. We'll be discussing this in our profile management module. So profiles option we will find for both jobs as well as for the positions. We have two different types of profiles. One is person profile, another one is model profile. When we are working with model profile, we'll discuss here how we can go for assign the content section to this particular positions. This is how we can go for create a position and assign to the business unit. We have created successfully position. Directly we have assigned it to the business unit here. Let me search for the position here. And what is the position name? PWC Sales Manager. In case if you don't get the position name here, then position creation is under the approval task. Wait, see, I'm not getting this. Takes couple of minutes time, or after that also if we are not getting this position here, then we have to verify the approval process. Maybe approvals are enabled for this position. That might be the reason. Okay. So where do we find that? Where do we find that process details? Go to Navigator, Tools menu. We have seen so far Security Console. What is the purpose of Security Console? Security Console is an environment where we will manage the user's information and also manage the roles information. Okay, that's about the Security Console. Transaction Console we have. This one, Transaction Console. Here we are going to manage the transactions information. Manage the transactions information. So this transaction information is going to be about our transaction, whatever we have performed. Right now, it is showing that whatever the transactions are failed. Click on this, not only for the position, even for the job or employee hiring, employee termination, any process. If you feel that it's not done, then you can come back here and verify. PWC Sales Manager we created. That's the process we have done. Fine, it's got success. It is not waiting for any approvals from the manager or some other person. Now it's a success. It took some time, that's all. Okay. So this all comes under workflow approvals. Those sessions are different. We'll talk about those in the next level. Now let me go back to the position task here. Manage positions. Search for the positions. Here. system. This is the position we have created successfully. And now we can see that the position has been assigned directly to the business. Okay, thank you.